Welcome back to X-Men Legends 2. And, not the most exciting way to start off a video, but, we're going to do a bit of an equipment audit. You can see I've already swapped, Myths of the Moon onto Juggernaut, in addition to giving him this ability, which will help convert some damage into, EP gain, so he can continue punching things really hard. Also adding Electric Shock to Storm. And then on the Magneto front, just boost levitation, and we're going to do some Danger Room scenarios for a couple of reasons. Number one, these have been kind of building up for a little bit, so it hopes to just knock a few of them out before I get back to the main portion of the game. And the other reason I'm doing this is because from this point on, I mean, it's already been the case, but it's just going to be a ton of wandering around inside those ruins. Like, even more so than before. Like, the maps that we're going to be on just get absurdly huge. So, this is like a preemptive palette cleanser of a sort.
Well done.
And I love that the lightning animation just keeps going, even when you're frozen on this victory screen. So none of these are going to be particularly difficult because it's still the freshman level. You're doing really basic stuff. Like the knockback test here, for example. I'm going to use this opportunity to try and spread out the XP a little bit. And we're going to use Cyclops for this, do some quick leveling so I don't have to worry about it later. And also upgrade what armor he has. I mean equipment. And there is another reason I'm doing that as well.
Now begin your course.
But yeah, this is the knockback maneuver. I typically don't do a lot of knockbacks as I'm playing through this game. One of the big reasons for it is, as you've probably seen from the previous parts, several of the enemies in this game will spend a lot of time backing away from you. So you kind of have to, like, steer them into a corner. So, like, knocking back opponents ends up not being very feasible. Unless you're specifically trying to knock some of the rare, aggressive physical enemies away from, say, a mutant who doesn't have, like, a high body stat, and you want them to be, like, exclusively ranged. But that scenario pretty much never comes up for me. So, we're going to get out of this. Oh, right, I forgot to level up Toad. It's okay, Toad. A lot of people forget about you. And I'm with Forge, so I can ditch some of the pent-up gear that I have. For a couple of reasons. One, extra tech bits that I can allocate to other things later. And two, because of the size of the area we're going into, like, we're in the corridors right now, and we are heading into the gateway. And this map is freaking huge. Also, you get jumped right away by a health regenerating mutant and a bunch of night shifters. And as you can see, they're like 4 levels above me. So, not quite a walk in the park, but as long as you're a little smart about how you play this, you're not going to have many instances where, like, if you're a few levels behind the enemies, you're going to be in trouble. It's really just about making sure your CPU teammates don't do anything too stupid. And Juggernaut has already leveled up. Excellent. Now there are a couple by the way, already got an armor drop, or equipment drop, excuse me. We're probably going to have to make multiple trips back, but you can break through this wall and grab yet another Danger Room disc. This one is at the sophomore level, so we're finally getting out of the... Oh god, I forgot just how many equipment drops there were so early in this friggin' level. But, yeah, there are multiple instances where you can just punch through a wall, and you're going to see some elemental resistance, enemies in this area, which is partially why I'm controlling Juggernaut most of the time, because you can just brute force his way through all these guys. You're going to see infinites here as well. They're level 17, so still technically stronger than my party members, but they're like basic grunt enemies, so you can melt through them pretty fast. And I will note that those are death pits. However, most of the time, your CPU teammates are going to be smart enough to not wander into them. Like, I remember when I was playing X-Men Legends through on this channel like decades ago, there was an instance where Storm just jumped off the ledge and died, which it's always like a little head scratching when you have a character who can fly and they fall to their death. So I won't say that doesn't happen in X-Men Legends 2, because I did a practice playthrough of this area, and by the way, there are multiple instances where you can just pick up tech bits that are laying on a table. Not sure why they leave them out in the open like that. But when I was doing a practice playthrough, I did have an instance where Magneto just walked off a ledge and died. So it's not necessarily that it doesn't happen here, but it seems to happen less often, and there's the location of a third data disk. And I am also cutting a lot of footage here, because I try to fill in the map wherever I can, just so like with the mini-map on the right, it's a little easier for anyone watching this to like get an idea of where I am relative to everything else. So there was a lot of like me as Storm or Magneto just flying in a circle around this huge open space, just filling in the blanks. God, and we're already having even more equipment drops. There is an extraction point that I can get to eventually, but if you are like holding on to a decent amount of equipment, you probably will have to backtrack at least once to just drop off like all the equipment drops that you find here. Equipment drops are random. They're not set in stone, so you're not going to get the same items, and you're not always going to get an equipment drop in the same space or from the same enemy. But even so, they still seem to drop pretty frequently. And I'm going to have to, I anticipate at least, make more cuts as the videos go on, just trying to filter out equipment that I pick up. And part of that is due to my insistence on playing like pretty much everybody in the game, because I find a rare piece of equipment for someone and I hold on to it, but those pieces of equipment have level requirements. You have to be at least a certain level to be able to equip them. 15 is like one of the level thresholds for both rare and just basic equipment, but you're going to have equipment that's like level 20 is required, level 25 is required, level 30 is required. So if you're holding on to all of that, that can really clog up your inventory fast. And also, oh, yep, more elemental enhanced guys. Omega indeed. Juggernaut is also really useful for the health regeneration guys, just because of the sheer amount of damage he can dole out with one of his mutant power attacks. And there is one particular hallway in this area. God. All those health packs exploding out of him. It's like opening a pack of gushers. So this is one of the major areas at the end of this hallway that I kind of dread going down. For reasons I will show later. But this is an important room. Not just because there's more equipment drops. By the way, you might have seen it before, but if you do the jump and then do like a certain attack, that'll usually give you a little bit of extra air, in case you're struggling to get up there with someone who can't fly. So there's a switch, but we're going to head back to this hallway because there is a secret here. Like, most of the breakable walls are pretty obvious, either because there's a crack or because you can see there's clearly something on the other side and you just do damage to the wall, it breaks, and you get through. So this, like, in case it wasn't apparent what was happening from the mini cutscene I played earlier, a bunch of walls shoot up to block your progress. But with someone like Juggernaut, it's pretty easy to just demolish all of the walls and essentially just carve a straight line to the objective. Now, what's kind of annoying about doing this with Juggernaut is his arm for his like main mutant power, which is the wind-up punch. It can end, like, the hitbox of it is at the end of the punch. So if he's standing too close to the wall and looking directly at it, you can do the punch, his arm will go through the wall, and it won't actually, like, connect with the wall somehow. It'll go through the wall and hit a point beyond it, and you won't actually do damage to it. So sometimes you're going to see me do that ability, but I'm going to do it at an angle into the wall, just to make sure that it connects.
This can't be.
Alright, and not much further to go here. Like, you're seeing here, even just basic punches, even the doing it at an angle trick, sometimes the hit detection just is not there. But anyway, making our way to this back corner. You could just fly over the pit and then make this a little easier. But there's your experience points, and there is almost a party-wide level up. So yeah, now everybody's going to get a bit of a boost. We'll give them the Crimson Devastation. I haven't actually used any of those, like, super-powered abilities yet. I gotta remember to show those off at some point. Buffing the Electric Shock for Storm. Further boosting Levitation for Magneto. I tend to just boost the default ability because that's what the CPU tends to focus on doing. And this hallway, aside from just the enemies that are in it, there are points where if you, like, I think it's like floor pressure plates, but if you get to a certain area, fire shoots out from the statues and will damage you. So whenever I'm walking through this area, I generally try to not deviate from the path being this, like, water channel that goes directly down the middle of it. But for completion's sake, and because if I'm playing like a bunch of different characters, I do kind of need all the XP I can get. So I'm going to make it a point to try and get through as many of these enemies as I possibly can.
Come a little closer.
Oh. Somehow missed that guy. Huh. Alright. And now the long backtrack where, I don't know how, like, there are these little alcoves off to the side, and enemies can get stuck in those. So sometimes you'll go through this after clearing it out, and you'll still find enemies. And I hate to cut it off here, but next time, X-Men Legends 2, more of this.